If your favorite boxer is Mike Tyson, you're probably obsessed with chaos. You don't just like knockouts, you like violence so sudden it feels like a movie jump scare. Tyson fans are the type of people who rewind his 91-second demolition of Michael Spinks and treat it like art. You brag about how he was the youngest heavyweight champ ever, but conveniently skip over the losses to Buster Douglas or the time Evander Holyfield lost part of his ear. Being a Tyson fan means you live for intimidation. You'll remind everyone how opponents looked beaten before the bell even rang. You quote his press conferences like scripture, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And you think it's the truest thing ever said. You probably also still insist that Prime Tyson would destroy anyone from Ali to Fury, even though no one can prove it. People who love Tyson see him as boxing's ultimate what if. What if he had stayed disciplined? What if the personal demons didn't catch up? That mystery fuels your fandom, because deep down, you know you're rooting for the most feared aura the sport has ever seen. If Tyson's your guy, you're not just a fan of boxing, you're a fan of spectacle. If your favorite boxer is Canelo, you see boxing as a craft, not just a fight. You're the type who rewinds slow-motion replays of head movement and counters, nodding like you just witnessed fine art. You'll bring up his body shots in casual conversations like they're war crimes, and you probably call him the pound-for-pound king even when the rankings don't. Canelo fans love to talk about levels. You believe most fighters are playing checkers while Canelo's playing 4D chess? When people bring up his losses to Floyd Mayweather or Dimitri Bivol, you don't panic. You pivot. You'll say, yeah, but he was too young, or yeah, but he dared to be great, like you've been preparing courtroom arguments your whole life. If Canelo's your favorite, you also probably flex about his resume. 4-division champion, undisputed at super middleweight, sold out stadiums. Those stats roll off your tongue like you've got them memorized for debate night. You treat his career like proof of consistency, discipline, and Mexican boxing pride all wrapped into one. At the end of the day, being a Canelo fan means you like your champions polished, efficient, and carrying themselves like they're running an empire. For you, boxing isn't about drama. It's about domination with style. If your favorite boxer is Manny Pacquiao, you live for the underdog story. You love the idea of a kid selling donuts on the streets of the Philippines, becoming an 8-division world champion. To you, Manny isn't just a fighter. He's a symbol of hope, grit, and the belief that hard work really can take you from nothing to everything. Pacquiao fans treat his speed like it was something out of a comic book. You'll talk about reality. And when people say he couldn't handle Mayweather, you instantly point to his wins over Barrera, Morales, Cotto, Margarito, and Thurman as proof he fought everybody, anytime, anywhere. If Pacquiao's your favorite, chaos, but in a charming way. You've got highlights of him dropping guys a gallon of Red Bull. You brag about how he made legends look ordinary and how, even at 40, he was still putting belts around his waist like Father Time was just another opponent. And let's be honest, you probably get a little defensive when people talk about his politics or side gigs, because to you he'll always be the smiling, humble warrior who fought with his whole country on his back. Pacquiao fans don't just admire a fighter, they admire a miracle. If your favorite boxer is Floyd Mayweather, you value winning above everything. You're not here for bloodbaths or Rocky-style slugfests. You're here for the sweet science, the art of hitting and not getting hit. Floyd fans will proudly remind everyone at every opportunity that he retired 50-0. To you, perfection isn't boring, it's greatness. You treat Mayweather like a genius who played boxing like chess while everyone else was still learning checkers. You'll bring up the shoulder roll like it was some divine gift, and you'll argue that Floyd's defense was so good he barely even took clean shots in 2 decades. When people call him boring, you roll your eyes and say, you just don't understand boxing. Being a Floyd fan also means you're comfortable being the villain. You like the flashy money showers, the Bugattis, the Vegas entrances. To you, the trash talk was just part of the game. And the fact that people paid millions hoping to see him lose only made it sweeter when he didn't. If Floyd's your favorite, you probably believe discipline beats everything. Speed, power, heart, all of it. He wasn't always the most exciting, but he was always the smartest, and in your eyes, that's what really matters. To you, Mayweather isn't just a fighter, he's proof that perfect really is possible. If your favorite boxer is Muhammad Ali, you don't just love boxing, you love legends. You're drawn to larger-than-life figures who could command a room before the first punch was even thrown. Ali fans see him as more than a fighter. He was a poet, a showman, a cultural earthquake. You're not just watching knockouts, you're quoting, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, like it's gospel. Ali fans thrive on charisma. You'll brag about how he predicted the round his opponents would fall and then actually did it. You'll bring up the Rumble in the Jungle and Thrilla in Manila like they were world-shaping events, not just fights. And if anyone dares compare a modern fighter to him, you instantly jump in to remind them there will never be another Ali. Being an Ali fan also means you respect defiance. You admire how he stood up to the US government, refused to fight in Vietnam, and paid the price with years stripped from his prime. To you, his courage outside the ring was just as powerful as his speed and reflexes inside it. If Ali's your favorite, you're probably the kind of person who believes greatness isn't just about records, it's about impact. You don't just want your fighter to win. You want them to change the world. And in your eyes, Ali did exactly that. If your favorite boxer is Alexander Usyk, you're a purist. You care about skill, not flash. You're the type who watches footwork breakdowns on YouTube and actually gets excited. Usyk fans treat his southpaw angles like witchcraft, and you'll happily spend 10 minutes explaining how he made Anthony Joshua look lost in both fights. Being a Usyk fan means you love the underdog energy. You live for the sight of a cruiserweight moving up to heavyweight and outsmarting giants twice his size. You probably still bring up the undisputed run at cruiserweight like it was yesterday, just to remind people he's been outclassing everyone for years. Usyk fans also lean into the quirks. You love his goofy interviews, the dance moves, the broken English one-liners that somehow hit harder than a jab. To you, it just makes the wins even sweeter. Because while other fighters try to look intimidating, Usyk shows up smiling, then quietly dismantles opponents until they don't know which way is up. If Usyk's your favorite, you're a believer in brains over brawn. You don't need trash talk, you don't need showmanship, you just want to see a master at work. And you take pride in knowing that while everyone else is arguing about power punchers, you're backing the chess player who always seems 3 moves ahead. If your favorite boxer is Terence Crawford, you're all about efficiency. You don't care about the loudest trash talker or the flashiest entrance. You care about results. Bud fans will tell you, without hesitation, that he's the most complete fighter of this generation. Switch hitting, perfect timing, ice-cold composure. You treat it like he was built in a boxing lab. Crawford fans live for the slow burn. You don't panic in the early rounds when he's downloading data. The moment when Bud flips the switch and suddenly the fight is over. To you, his dismantling of Errol Spence Jr. wasn't just a win, it was proof. Proof that all those years of being avoided, underpromoted, and underestimated ended with him showing the world who was really pound for pound #1. If Crawford's your guy, you probably love the quiet assassin energy. No theatrics, no clowning around, just a stare, a jab, and then a highlight reel knockout. You respect how he cleaned out divisions, collected belts like souvenirs, and never once looked like he was in trouble doing it. Being a Crawford fan means being to talk the talk, because when Bud fights, the silence before the knockout says everything. If your favorite boxer is Tyson Fury, you thrive on chaos wrapped in charisma. You love a fighter who can clown around mid-fight, dodge behind his back, then drop a man twice his size like it's nothing. Fury fans treat his story like a movie, born into a boxing family, ballooned to 400 pounds, battled addiction and depression, and came back to reclaim the heavyweight crown. To you, that's not just a comeback, that's legend status. Being a Fury fan means you like unpredictability. You'll hype up the slick head movement from the first Wilder fight just as much as you'll defend the mauling, 270-pound juggernaut version that bullied Wilder in the rematch. You'll laugh when he sings Aerosmith in the ring after a win, and you'll argue he's the most entertaining heavyweight of his era, even if his resume isn't spotless. Fury fans also love the showmanship. You don't mind the trash talk, the antics, or the contradictions, because underneath it all, mind anyone who'll listen that he went to Germany and beat Vladimir Klitschko when no one thought he could, then rose from the canvas against Wilder like a man straight out of a horror movie. If Fury's your favorite, you're not looking for a polished, perfect champion. You want a giant with flaws, personality, and heart. Because with Fury, every fight feels like an event, and every victory feels like it shouldn't even be possible, until it is. If your favorite boxer is Naoya Inoue, you're obsessed with precision. You don't need waxy slugfests, you want perfection in motion. Inoue fans talk about his punch placement like it's GPS guided. One clean shot to the liver, and it's game over. You probably match just to remind yourself how flawless a dismantling can look. Being an Inoue fan means you love dominance without the size advantage. You respect the fact that he's a smaller fighter who makes world champions look like at super bantamweight. You bring up those stats with pride because you know you're watching someone who makes history every time he steps in the ring. Inoue fans also love the aura. He doesn't need trash talk, crazy entrances, or outlandish interviews. He just walks in, wrecks whoever's in front of him, and leaves like it was nothing. That quiet killer vibe makes you feel like you're in on a secret. The best fighter alive might be a guy who barely says a word outside the ring. If Inoue's your favorite, you're chaos. You don't need drama, you don't need theatrics. You just want to watch greatness executed with surgical precision. To you, the monster isn't just a nickname. It's proof that boxing can still look scary, even at 122 pounds. If your favorite boxer is Tank Davis, you're addicted to knockouts. You don't care about CompuBox stats or judges' scorecards. You just want that one punch that shuts the whole arena down. Tank fans live for the highlight reel. You'll bring up the Leo Santa Cruz uppercut like it was a work of art, and you probably still watch the Ryan Garcia knockout like it was your team winning the Super Bowl. Being a Tank fan means you love that dangerous mix of patience and violence. You know he might give away early rounds, circling, waiting, calculating, but you also know the second he lands clean, the fight's basically over. And you're proud of that because to you, Tank doesn't just win, he erases people. Tank fans also love the energy. The walkouts, the chains, the Baltimore pride. It feels bigger than boxing, like you're rooting for a star who was born to be in the spotlight. You don't mind the drama outside the ring because to you, that just adds to the chaos. As long as he keeps putting opponents to sleep, everything else is just background noise. If Tank's your favorite, you're not here for drawn-out chess matches. You want fireworks, you want the crowd to gasp, the commentators to lose their minds, and the replay to hit Twitter in seconds. Because with Tank, you're not just a boxing fan, you're a knockout fan.